You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love.
The face of love.
I hold you in my heart.
You in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of
love. The face of love.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
I hold you in my heart.
You in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
I hold you in my heart.
You in my heart.
You are a part of me.
A part of me.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face
Tu
of
sei
God.
la luce di Dio.
You are the face
You
of
are
God.
the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
es
God.
l'image de Dieu.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
sei
God.
la luz de Dios.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of God.
ruh خدایی.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love.
The face of love.
I hold you in my heart.
You in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of love.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
I hold you in my
heart. You in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
I hold you in my heart.
You in my heart.
You are a part of me.
A part of me.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face
Tu
of
sei la luce di Dio.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
es
God.
l'image de Dieu.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
sei
God.
la luz de Dios.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of God.
روح خدایی.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face of
Eres la luz de Dios.
You are the
Good morning, and welcome to Spiritual Life Center, a church that love is building.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
In one of his parables, Jesus said, "For I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to see me." Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? And when did we see you a stranger and welcome you, or naked and clothe you? And when did we see you sick or in prison and visit you?" And the king will answer them, "Truly, I say to you, as you did it for one of the least of my brothers, you did it for me." Dear God, thank you so much for the life and the teachings of Jesus. And thank you for your blessings that continue to shower upon us day in and day out without end. We are grateful. Thank you, God. Amen.
In this very room, there's quite enough love for one like me. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for one like me. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For spirit, one spirit is in this very room. And in this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For spirit, one spirit is in this very room, in this very room, in this very room.
In the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14 to 16, "You are the light of the world. Let your light shine before others, so that others may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. You who are the light of the world, let us join together as we pray, as we sing, as we give our hearts to God this morning." My mind is now open and my heart receptive. My mind is open to God's light and understanding. This light, it surrounds me and it enfolds me. It permeates every cell of my body. The understanding that I am a child of God is now coming alive, both in me and in my life. With it comes a feeling of uncertainty and that my destiny will always be secure. As the child of a perfect parent, and I am loved and cherished and cared for. My mistakes have never separated me from this love. Oh God, in this hour, I'm ready to set aside any feelings of despondency, despair, depression, or worry. These things have no place in my life, for I am your child unfolding, and I choose love. I choose faith. I choose to believe I am a miracle in the making. My heart is receptive to love, to happiness, to the peace that passes all understanding. And I take that feeling into my being in the silence, in the silence. I bring my focus back to this room, and as I do, I remain consciously aware that your nature in me, the Christ self in me, is pure and perfect, and it cannot fail. I believe in miracles. I believe in God in action all around me. Miracles are happening to me because I believe in them. I reach for them. I reach beyond myself, my smaller self, to the possibilities that are in me. For in me now there is the excitement of expectancy. I expect only the good to happen, because you are good, my God. You are the greater self in me, being made manifest in my life. I now have the ability to respond to you and to my life in new, creative, expanding, and exciting ways. I am grateful for my life, for all of the good in my life, for its many lessons and the growth that I have received from them, my many blessings, my loved ones, and for all of the opportunities and possibilities that are mine. I say thank you, God. Thank you, thank you. Amen. And now let us join together as we sing and pray the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. I have no hands but yours to tend my sheep. No handkerchief but yours to dry the eyes of those who weep. I have no arms but yours with which to hold the ones grown weary from the struggle and weak from growing old. I have no voice but yours with which to sing, to let my children know that I am love, and love is everything. I have no hands to feed the hungry souls, no clothes to give the naked, the ragged, and the cold. So be my heart, my hands, my tongue. Through you all will be done. Through you all will be done. Fingers have I none to help untie the tangled knots and twisted chains that strangle fearful minds. I have no one but you to clean the mess when war and greed destroy the land that I've so richly blessed. I have no legs but yours with which to dance, no way to show my faithfulness unless you take a chance. I have no way to open people's eyes, except that you will show them how to trust the inner light. So be my heart, my hands, my tongue. Through you all will be done. Through you all will be done. I have no higher call for you than this, to love and serve your neighbor in joy and selflessness.
Nancy, thank you so much. That was beautiful. This song is very touching, and it expresses a message that is in line with the third key behavior. That is evidence you are allowing God to live through you. The past 2 Sundays, we focused on the transformation that each person on a spiritual path experiences. They move from viewing God as a great resource that will provide for them, guide them, lead them, to rather seeing themselves living from God. Now, the first behavioral evidence is moving beyond even exchanged living, where you only do as much or give as much as you think you are owed. And the second behavior is living a life of love, where you are loving yourself, you are loving God, you are loving all other persons. And today we focus on the third behavior, that is evidence. And this is at the heart of the entire message that Jesus conveys. There was a soldier in Italy during the Second World War who came across a statue of Jesus when he was out in the fields walking. And he was amazed, and he looked closer and saw that the statue of Jesus had no hands. And he looked around and couldn't find the hands anywhere. He sat and meditated, and it came to him, I have no hands but yours. And he reflected on it. And out of that came this beautiful song. And one section of it particularly touches me. I have no arms but yours, which with to hold the ones grown weary from the struggle and weak from growing old. I have no voice but yours. I have no heart but yours. Beautiful. 2,300 years ago, the philosopher Aristotle said, of all the things that people seek, foremost among these is happiness. To achieve happiness, people tend to set their sights on an objective, such as money, health, or peace of mind. But really, what they want is to get the most out of life, to make their life as satisfying, fulfilling, and successful as possible. Probably the greatest single threat to happiness is the fear of not having, or of not having enough, or of losing what you do have. And it's not just fear of losing money, but of loss of one's health, or relationships, or possibly one's self-esteem. But if fear is allowed to take over, fear's message is accumulate, cling to, possess. And following this leads to a stagnant condition, which cannot work because we live in a dynamic, free-flowing universe. The answer lies in balance, a combination of both receiving and sharing, of giving and getting. There's something you can do that will guarantee your personal security, something to assure you get the most out of life, something that constitutes a covenant between you and God, a promise that God will take care of you and provide for you all of your days in all possible ways that you'll never need. And Jesus spoke to this directly in Matthew chapter 20, when he said, whoever would be great among you, meaning whoever would have a great life, must be your servant. And he went on to say that the Son of Man, meaning every single human being, came not to be served, but to serve. And then he ordered his 12 disciples, sending them out, charging them to heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse lepers, cast out demons. He said something profound at the end of this. You received without pay. Give without pay. Now, we like to believe that we made happen whatever has occurred in our lives. But Jesus reminds us that everything we have or are or have done is entirely through the grace of God. Serving others changes lives. A public school teacher made clear to one of her students the power of giving and receiving. She noticed something about the way this little girl held back in class. She talked to the girl's parents and then arranged for an eye exam. Now, she took the girl not to a clinic, but to her own eye doctor, and did so not as a charity case, but as a friend. And she got the glasses, gave them to the girl, and the girl said, "I can't accept these. We don't have any money." And the teacher told her a story. She said, "When I was a child, a neighbor gave me glasses and said someday I should pay for them by getting glasses for some other girl in need." Now, these were most welcome words to the little girl, because it was saying that someday she will buy glasses for someone else. And she saw herself then as a giver, made to be responsible. Someone believed in her. She walked out as a trusted courier of continuing good. But the idea of giving begins not with your behaviors, but rather with your state of mind. It begins wherever you are, with your caring, with your affection and attention, with your love, with the fact that you are serving and being generous with your words of praise and encouragement, with your smile, with your time, with your friendship, your talents and skills, with your prayers, by your example of a God-directed life. Now, there was a man who became very discouraged with the life and situations going on around him. He was concerned with all the conflict that he observed, the violence, and he prayed on this. And the message he got back was, in the face of escalating conflict, escalate your love. So he thought to himself, what can I do? Now, he liked to go out for walks in the early morning at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. And he noticed as he walked around that a lot of the people, especially the elderly people, were having trouble getting their newspapers. They would come outside and their newspaper was somewhere down on the lawn or on the front sidewalk. And so he decided he would take those newspapers and move them up in front of the door so they were right there for the people as they needed them. But in order to do that, he had to observe who were the people in need, who were the elderly folks who were really struggling with this. And he did this quietly, unobtrusively. And he found about 20 or 25 persons over the course of a round of several miles that he walked for an hour or more. And each day he would go out and pick up that newspaper, take it to the front step, and he would bless it with a peace and good, just as St. Francis of Assisi had done in his day in blessing people. And over time, it brought him such peace, such satisfaction, such knowing that he was being of service to people in need. As you grow in the awareness of the benefits of serving, consider several points. First, think of serving as a state of being, rather than as something that you do, meaning it is divinely directed. Service is cooperating with the life force. Without it, we stagnate. With it, we thrive. It has nothing to do with the size or impact of what it is we're doing, but rather with the heart that we're feeling as we provide this service, whatever it might be. Second, when you cross over from a focus of getting to one of giving, it will impact where you are and why. When you think about being somewhere, it's not about wondering, what will I get from this? But rather, is there someone who will be there, who has a need that I can assist with? Third, understand that giving and receiving are one. We must have both in our lives. It's like two sides of a coin. It's like breathing in and out. It is natural because your highest good is part of the highest good of all other persons. And every other person's highest good is a part of yours. Finally, if you're hurting or struggling in some way, in some area of your life, the sure way to overcome it or move past it is through service to another person. Sometimes we might look around and gain the illusion that, oh, what does it matter? The need of people is so great. What's the use? But Mother Teresa said, I never look at the masses as my responsibility. I look at the individual. I can only love one person at a time. I can only feed one person at a time. So you begin. You begin the whole work because it is only a drop in the ocean. But if I didn't put the drop in the ocean would be one drop less. This is the same for you. So the answer is just begin. Opportunities to serve come in amazing ways. Early in the last century, a college professor was working at his desk late one evening. He was in his study where the housekeeper had piled up his mail. One magazine, which was not even addressed to him, opened in front of him, and he saw an article titled, "The Needs of the Congo." He read, "The need is great here. We have no one to work the northern province in the central Congo of Africa. It is my prayer, as I write this article, that God will lay his hand on one on whom already the Master's eyes have been cast, that he or she will be called to this place to help us." The professor closed the magazine and wrote in his diary, "My search is over." He gave himself to go to the Congo. The professor's name was Albert Schweitzer. He was already a recognized philosopher, theologian, musical scholar, an organist, and a medical doctor as well. Now he was to become one of the great figures in a humanitarian work nearly unmatched in human history. It was Dr. Schweitzer who in later years said, "I don't know what your destiny will be, but one thing I do know, the only ones among you who will really be happy are those who have sought and found how to serve." Some persons think of prosperity in terms of receiving. But giving and serving are important parts of prosperity. When you give of yourself freely, the universe responds positively to you in strange, sometimes, and unexpected ways. It just does. So, you set a rate of flow of all things in your life. Therefore, your security lies not in accumulating, but rather in circulation. A combination of both receiving and sharing. Circulation requires flow, and you must place your life in the midst of flow if you want to prosper. A wonderful example is the banyan tree, which happens to be a form of fig tree. Now, this unique tree continually gives of itself and benefits from doing so. The more it gives, the stronger it becomes, and roots take place outside of itself. And as it nourishes itself, it produces these roots that bury themselves in the ground and continue to expand. These branches form trunks of new trees, and at the same time provide greater support for the original tree. The more it gives, the stronger it becomes, and the greater its capacity to give and to grow. There was a tree given to Thomas Edison down in Florida that a century later now has expanded to be greater than a quarter mile in circumference. Consider a wonderful analogy. There are two seas in Palestine. Both are fed by the River Jordan. One sea is fresh, and there are fish in it. Splashes of green adorn its banks. Trees spread their branches over it, and along its shores, children play. Jesus could look across its silver surface when he spoke his parables. Men build their houses near it, and birds their nests, and every kind of life is happier because it is there. The other sea has no fish, no life among its shores, no birds, no children's laughter, very few people at all. The air hangs heavy above its water, and no one would consider drinking it. What makes the difference? Not the River Jordan, it feeds them both. Not the soil, nor the country around them. The difference is this: the Sea of Galilee receives, but that does not keep the Jordan. For every drop that flows into it, another drop flows out. The other sea is more shrewd, hoarding its water jealously. Every drop it gets, it keeps. It has no outlet. The Sea of Galilee gives and lives. The other sea gives nothing. It is named dead, the Dead Sea. There are two seas in Palestine. There are two kinds of people in the world. There are two kinds of persons inside you and me. Decide this day whom you will serve. Albert Einstein once said, "Only a life lived for others is worth living." This is true. And it comes alive in the story that the Sufis teach. Past the seeker, as he prayed, came the crippled beggar, lowly and beaten. And seeing them, the Holy One went down into deep prayer and cried, "Great God, how is it that a loving Creator can see such things and yet do nothing?" Out of the long silence, God said, "I did do something. I made you." Look around you this day. The world needs you. It needs your smile, your laughter, your joy, your helping hand. But just as important, you need it too, so that your light can break forth like the dawn and bless the world around you. We invite you now to observe this brief video and marvel over the truth that when we work together, we can make beautiful music. Wasn't that fascinating? How they make that work? All of them participating jointly in playing that one instrument? Well, we are delighted that you have shared this experience with us today, and we hope it has served you, blessed you, helped you along your spiritual path. And we invite you now to join us in our prayer of sharing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we would invite you to bless this ministry with your financial gift as well this morning. And there are three ways that you might do that. The first is through online giving at our website, the secure website, www.slctroy.com/give. A second is to mail a check or money order to 41340 Fox Run Road, number 106, Novi, Michigan, 48377, addressed to Spiritual Life Center. A third way is to call my cell, 248-925-6214, with credit card information for a one-time charge. We also welcome anyone joining us for the first time, one of your first times, and invite you to join our email list by visiting the website, www.slctroy.com. And up in the right-hand corner, you'll see Join Email List. And if you click on that and insert your email address, you will not only be kept informed of the events happening here at Spiritual Life Center, but you'll also automatically receive a link to each of the Sunday services. We also invite you to let us know your prayer requests. You can send those to ronaldfscott@gmail.com or to my cell 248-925-6214. And we will share these with the prayer team, which has had an amazing record of healings and overcomings in supporting people. We also send them on to Silent Unity, where they're prayed over for 30 days. And you may, on your own, at any time, 24/7, call Silent Unity so that you can talk directly with a prayer chaplain. And you do this by calling their number 1-800-NOW-PRAY. We also invite you to circle your calendar looking ahead to the last Saturday in September, September 25th, when we will be having another church picnic to all come together and to be able to support one another and have great music. Ray and Tony have again, Ray Santorini, Tony Camilletti have again agreed to provide wonderful music along with the sharing of the food that we each bring on our own. It'll be at the Firefighters Park in Troy once again, and we'll be making you more and more aware of that as we get closer to that time. Finally, we want to invite you to our Zoom coffee hour at 11 o'clock or immediately following the service. You should have received an email with a new link for this time of connection. If not, please contact us and we'll get that information to you. And now, please join us in our peace song and benediction. God bless.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And now as you go forth, know that the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you.
The Lord bless thee and keep thee.
The power of God protects you.
The Lord make his face to shine upon thee, and be gracious unto thee.
The presence of God watches over you.
The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee, and grant thee peace.
Wherever you are, God is.
Amen. Amen.
Go your way rejoicing. All is truly well.